Hey guys, I'm still here. They didn't take me out yet. Not yet. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Anyway, sound check, mic check, video check, chat check. Let me know when you're in here. We'll get started. Wait a couple seconds here. I got a list of things we'll cover. And then I'm gonna head into my weekend. It's my birthday weekend, so I'm gonna be celebrating. Hope to blow out many more candles. What's up, guys? Let's be frank. Brooks Duncan. Sounds good. Video's good. Okay, cool. Make sure you give it a like too, please. Give it a like. Always give it a like. I hope you guys enjoyed that man on the street video I uploaded the other day. That was that's actually a couple months old, several months old actually. And it was a longer stream than that, but I cut out that clip because that was the best part of it. And if you noticed, it got like 3,000 views. So that's what you guys want to see. I'm going to be uploading more of that. I got a few housekeeping items though. So let me get right to it. Now that I got a little group here watching. So I think I might have figured out the BitChute thing. Remember how I said I was connecting my backup channel to the BitChute so I could upload older videos? Well, I reached out to them and they finally got back to me, and I think that they fixed it. But for the time being, we'll see. I connected this channel back to the BitChute. So whatever you're seeing here, you'll see on BitChute, because I'd prefer everything to go over from this channel because this is the main channel. So hopefully that's fixed. Also, I know some of you have reached out and said the links haven't been working in the description. And I think that's because they were cut off because they're too long. So when I copy and paste, it leaves it off. So that should be fixed too. If it's not, just let me know. What else? Oh, the backup channel. The backup channel is over 900 subscribers. But again, we need to get it to 1,000 subscribers. So by the end of the year, let's get it to 1,000 subscribers. Link is in the description. Let's get it to 1,000 by the end of the year so I can go live on that bad boy next year. Actually, what I'm going to be doing after this live stream is I'm going to look at some equipment. I'm getting a second monitor, and I'm getting a stand, like I guess it's like a selfie stick tripod stand that I can use in public and not have to have a cameraman around me all the time. So that's going to help tremendously for man on the street videos next year. So be on the lookout for that. 2020 is about to be a firestorm. All hands on deck. We got to get this president reelected. So I'm going to be doing my part, man on the street. So please support. All of your donations go towards that. Your donations go towards getting better equipment, all that stuff. So please donate. And then also get my channel, backup channel, to 1,000 subscribers. Please do that, guys. Okay, so let's get into the insanity from this past week. Oh my gosh, this was an abundant week for insanity. Let's start with Greta. And I wish I had my water here because every time I don't have my water, I get a little bit parched. But we'll start with Greta, okay? This little 16-year-old girl that they put on the cover of Time magazine, which I don't really think that's a huge deal that she's on Time magazine. I know the left is painting it as, oh, conservatives are outraged over this little autistic girl being on Time magazine cover. I'm like, Stalin was on there and Hitler was on there. So how much do we really put into someone being on the cover of Time magazine? It's not that big of a deal. But I thought it was hilarious that they would put her on there for wagging her finger in everybody's face. And then as soon as Trump tweets about it, oh, he's attacking this girl. Kids are off limits, but Barron Trump's not off limits. The Covington Catholic kids weren't off limits when that whole thing happened. And you had Blue Checkmark Mafia on Twitter talking about kick those kids into a wood chipper, lock the school up and burn those kids down. Yeah, these were celebrities saying that on Twitter about kids. So that's okay. They still have their Twitter accounts. But Trump and conservatives make a lighthearted joke about this girl who's in the public eye, by the way. And it's like, oh my God, the world's on fire. Why do you hate kids? Don't you get tired of the left and these elites using kids as human shields for bad ideas? That's all this girl is. A bad idea, human shield. It's like, you can't disagree with climate change. There's a little girl with autism saying that you can't disagree. You hate children. You hate autistic kids, you bully. It's like, More people see through that now. But it's just crazy. Like the double standards will make your head explode, and the hypocrisy. They say horrible things about Barron Trump. Terrible things about him. He's 13 years old. He's not in the public eye. He never gets in front of a camera. Greta Thunberg is out there talking about, how dare you? You're ruining my life. My childhood's been stolen. She's over there scolding adults about why we should give up burgers and cars and let the federal government take all of our money so that we can stop the temperature rising on the planet. But she can't be criticized, when in reality, they put her out there to shield them from criticism of climate change. And then they act like she's above criticism because she's a kid, but she can go on the attack. You know what this reminds me of, guys? David Hogg. Remember that? David Hogg was the poster child for gun control. And if you tried to criticize the bad idea that is gun control, they're like, why are you going after this kid? You're bullying a school shooting survivor, you monster. See, this is kind of nonsense that they're constantly peddling, always using kids. It's the sickest, weirdest thing. But it's par for the course. That's the left. They use kids. They use minorities. They use immigrants, all for an agenda. All for an agenda. It's sad. What else happened? Trump. Okay, so you guys know I'm a Trump supporter. I need to say that probably like 4 more times. I am a Trump supporter. I support Trump. I am voting for Trump in 2020. However, I do not like that he signed this executive order for anti-Semitism. And it's under the clause, and let me give a disclaimer. I did not read the executive order, but the gist of the executive order is it's a protection against criticism, essentially. It's always loosely worded, against criticism of Jewish people and, you know, Israel or whatever. And it kind of just muddies the waters and conflates religion with nationality, which is just super weird. But then also it's like, why do we need any legislation or any executive orders for religion? But if you're going to do it for all religions, right? It doesn't make any sense why it would be for one religion. And I'm not about to go there about the whole, I'm not going there, but you guys know what I was just about to do. I'm not going down that whole road. But that brings me to another point. Why is Netflix, okay, this is another example. It seems like Judaism is always protected and Christianity is always attacked. Netflix just came out with a documentary, not a documentary, I guess it's like a comedy special about gay Jesus. What if Jesus was gay? And it's a parody, I guess. They're obviously mocking Jesus and mocking Christianity and doing it right before Christmas. As horrible as that is, and the poor taste as that is, they're allowed to do it. I've seen some people get mad and say, we need to sign a petition to have them take it down. I mean, look, Netflix is a private company. They can do whatever they want. I disagree with it. They have to know that they're ripe for criticism. If they're going to do that, they're open to criticism. But then it's also like, when is there going to be a gay Muhammad? Right? When are you going to criticize Buddha? When are you going to criticize other religions? It's just like with Dave Chappelle or Tosh.0. They make jokes about all races. So I don't have a problem with that. But when you target somebody, when you target a specific religion, a specific race, even though it's comedy, then it makes you look bad and you're open to criticism. But that's what Netflix is doing. And people, I guess, are mad about it. I think it's terrible. I think Netflix sucks. But just like with the left, how they want everything canceled that they don't agree with, why are conservatives saying Netflix, that you need to take it down? You need to ban that. It's like, or you could just vote with your dollar and not watch Netflix. You should probably be spending $5 a month or whatever the hell that costs a month, donating to Patriot channels, donating to people that are telling the truth instead of worrying about Netflix. Netflix is going to do what they're going to do. They've been trafficking in propaganda for at least 3 to 5 years. All the TV shows that they have on there are because they want to basically fictionalize the truth. They're burying the truth and showing it to you in plain sight with, I'd say, at least half of their shows. Half of the shows that are recommended on Netflix I was wondering this the other day as I was flipping through, looking at the different shows, and I'm seeing all the things that are trending. I'm like, man, there's a lot of dark shows trending on Netflix. And it made me wonder, are they really trending? Is this an artificial trend or natural? Like, are they promoting stuff, making it seem like, oh, this is really popular, you should watch this dark show about people dying? Or that's what they want you to see? Are people actually clicking it, or do they want you to see it? So it's the propaganda that they push up artificially and promote, just like YouTube. They all do the same thing. So I don't even know why people get surprised anymore. Like when I heard about this gay Jesus thing, I wasn't surprised. They've been attacking Christianity. They've been going after Christians. They've been avoiding criticizing Islam, whether they're doing it in a constructive way or in a comedic way. They just avoid it altogether. Same thing with what's the religion? Judaism? I never know. I always just think like Jews or whatever. They never criticize Jews. They don't criticize Muslims. They criticize, and not just criticize, demonize and mock Christians. And this is a Christian majority country. Regardless, it's still a Christian majority country. So you're insulting a lot of people when you do that. And I mean, you're allowed to do it. That's the thing. I remember one time Rand Paul said, you know, we shouldn't regulate these businesses. We shouldn't make them not discriminate. He said, you're allowed to be stupid with your business. The market will correct it. Unless, of course, you're infringing on somebody's freedoms or rights. That's different. So, for example, YouTube, with what they're doing with all these social media platforms, what they're doing, they're breaking contracts. They're breaking agreements. They're violating terms of service themselves. And they're benefiting from immunity in the process. So that's a whole different convoluted thing than Netflix showing some stupid 45-minute documentary, right? Or show, whatever it is. What else? Okay. Rashida Tlaib took an opportunity to advance her little agenda of let's hate all white people. Let's blame white people for everything under the sun when she was referring to the New Jersey shooting. She said that white supremacy kills. When the people who did the shooting, the suspects were Black Hebrew Israelites. So she had to delete the tweet after that. She got egg on her face big time. Now, what's problematic about that to me is she doesn't care about those victims. Why wouldn't you issue a retraction instead of just avoiding it altogether? Like, oops, I guess that was bad. I guess I'll just delete it and move on. That tells me you don't care about those people. You don't care. I mean, we knew that she didn't care, but why is she being so confidently just obvious about it? Like, yeah, I'm pushing an agenda. I hate white people. I think white people did it. As soon as I hear about a mass shooting, I automatically think it was a white person that did it. And I'm not even going to check facts or wait for any of the evidence to come out. I'm not even going to go and read one article and dig around to see what happened. I'm just going to put this tweet out because I can do a lot of damage with that. Now, for her brainwashed minion followers on Twitter, they probably retweeted that and sent it and shared it and believed it. So she knows her audience. To her credit, she knows her audience. Nobody fact-checked her that retweeted it. In fact, I think the tweet got ratioed. There were thousands of comments and not many retweets. But you get my point. She knows what she's doing. And unfortunately, a lie will travel halfway around the world before the truth even straps on its boots. So by her sending that little tweet out, she ignited a bunch of anger, released a lot of negative energy, and she showed no remorse for making such a huge mistake. And she showed her true racism. Like, that's legitimate racism right there. But then she's the biggest one crying racism, right? She's always crying racist this, racist that, white people this and that. Well, you just accuse white people of doing something that a Black person did, by the way. So why couldn't she just issue a retraction and say, these were bad people that did this, and supremacists, regardless of race, should be condemned? But see, she doesn't have enough class for that. She doesn't. We can't ask her to do too much, guys, you know, because reasons. We can't do that. So I thought that was tasteless. I said something to her on Twitter. I don't know if she saw it, but I mean, people went hard on her for that, and she still hasn't said anything about it. This is disgusting. This is what they do. But then complete radio silence about the Pensacola shooting. And that happened to be a brown person from Saudi Arabia. Just saying, they won't say anything about that. But then they expect you to believe that they're not biased and they don't have an agenda, when in reality, they only care about victims of crimes if they think a straight, white, Christian, conservative, Trump-supporting male did it. Outside of that, they don't give a damn. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad that an elected official literally doesn't care about people who were killed? She doesn't care. None of them care. If they cared, they would have the same amount of compassion regardless of who did the crime. It's the craziest thing to see them be so out in the open with it. They don't even hide it. They want you to know that they hate whites, they hate Christians, they hate the country, they hate the Constitution, they hate the Second Amendment, they hate you, they hate your president, they hate everything. This is literal just scorched earth. Let's burn it all down because we're not winning and we suck at everything. So let's destroy everything in front of us because we feel like shit on the inside. That's what a lot of these leftists are doing. It's just they're screeching, they're angry, there's outbursts, which brings me to the next story of the week that's kind of flying under the radar. I guess it happened back in November, like just before Thanksgiving, of a kid actually in Florida, a white kid getting his ass beat on a school bus. I tweeted it out. If I was going to do a pre-recorded video, I thought about doing that and then including the clip, but it's kind of brutal. It's really hard to watch. It's only about 20 seconds long, but I guess the mom released it on Twitter. The attorney said it was a good idea to do it or whatever. Basically, a white kid, his mom, I guess, sent him to school with a MAGA hat on one day. He got bullied, and I can't verify any of this. This is just what she's saying. There's no video of him wearing the MAGA hat. There's no way to corroborate it other than her saying it. She sent him to school with a MAGA hat. He got bullied. He didn't wear it again, but the damage was already done. And he's sitting in the back of the school bus, I guess a couple days later, and these kids, these black kids, just start going off on him. And the way that these kids were punching him, it seemed as though it were built up before. Like the anger and resentment was deeper than just, oh, you're wearing a MAGA hat. I don't like Trump. My mom told me not to like Trump. These look like middle schoolers, by the way. I don't think they were high school or anything like that. They seemed like they were maybe sixth grade. I don't know. They could have been elementary, but it was bad because it was like 4 or 5 kids just whooping this dude's ass. It was disgusting. And it made me think like, okay, to be fair, he could have said a racial slur. He could have said anything. We don't know all of the facts, so I'm not going to rush to judgment there. But I have to wonder what could have come out of this kid's mouth to warrant the way this girl was just wailing on him. I mean, she beat him down. Like it was bad. And then other kids were beating him up over the seat. So the way I see it is this. There are 2 ways you can raise your kids. And I don't think it's a gray area. It's either this way or that way. You can raise your kids and tell them, all right, you're going to deal with some stuff in life. Here's how you overcome it. Here's what you do. Kill them with kindness. Don't let them see you sweat. Hold your chin up and be a proud person. Be the bigger person. Only fight in self-defense, but never initiate it. People are always going to say stuff to piss you off. Focus on what you can control. So that's one school of thought. The other school of thought is don't let anybody tell you this, that, and the third. If they do, you whoop their ass, you fight them, you beat them up, and blah, blah, blah. I'm guessing it's the latter with these kids. And it's probably the whole racist, white people hate you, Trump is racist. I almost feel sorry for these kids because these kids, as much as people are being hateful towards them on Twitter, they're kids. I mean, these kids, they're going to regret this at some point in their life. They're going to look back and say, there's a video of me that's probably, see this thing with videos online with people doing all these stupid viral videos. The internet's forever. I didn't have this growing up. Thank God. If some of the stupid stuff I did as a kid were still online today and it was a video, I would never get a job. I would never get any, I wouldn't be able to live certain things down. But kids now, they're going to be like, damn, mom, why did you record me saying swear words when I was like 4? There's a lot of videos like that online, but I'm saying with these kids, they don't know any better. They're being taught stuff. They're being taught to hate white people. They're being taught to fear white people. They're being told that they're being oppressed. There's something built up there. They're saying 400 years of slavery, oh, Jim Crow, segregation, America hates you, black is this, and whites hate you. Like, that's what's being taught to these kids. And you could see it manifest physically. Again, I don't know about everything that happened there leading up to the fight, but I'm willing to bet that there was a lot of upstream propaganda, lies, brainwashing, and stoked fear and anger that led to that attack. I mean, it was vicious. That's what I think. But it's just sad that you're seeing that for the youth. And then for the boy to get beat down like that, what kind of emotional scars is he going to have? Right? It's bad on all sides. It's bad, regardless of what he said. Even if he had said something racist, he's going to regret it when he grows up. It's stupid. It's bad. But these kids are, the way that they're destroying the youth, man, for everything we're fighting for, what does it matter if we don't have control over the public indoctrination system? Look at the way kids are growing up. All they know is the internet. They didn't know anything else before the internet. Information travels like that now. You can find out about something halfway across the country in an instant before it's ever covered on the news. And you can be outraged, schedule protests, start burning your city down before any of the facts come out, like with all these mass shootings. And then it's reinforced in the classroom when they talk about the patriarchy, they talk about racism and segregation and, you know, all the genocide and everything else. It's what they're doing to instill this tension so that we're constantly at each other's throats, constantly divided, constantly focused on division and all these artificial barriers between us instead of the sick people who run the world and abuse children in the other way, right? Because what's happening in the school system, that's child abuse as well. So I don't want to get too hung up on that, but you guys can obviously tell that's the one that pulls at the heartstrings the most for me because it's kids, man. Like, that sucks what those kids were doing, but they don't need to be demonized. See, you know, people get crazy on the right too. I've seen it on Twitter. They call them animals. They say a bunch of stuff because they're mad, rightfully so. Who wouldn't be mad watching that video? But you have to wonder, like, how are those kids being raised? I'm willing to bet there's no father in the home, right? And what are those kids being told to make them so angry, to lash out, to punch with such fury? It just makes me mad, man, because everything we're fighting for is for the future of the country. But if the future of the country is that, then it's a lost cause. So what else do I have on here? I wish I had something lighter after that. I guess we could talk about the news, the constant fake news, the never-ending tirade that's just, again, like a broken record. It's always the same old thing. Trump tweeted this, Trump tweeted that. You would think after the 150,000th time of Trump tweeting something that you see as controversial or spicy, that you just say, that's who he is. Instead, they're always, I'm outraged, pearl clutching. Oh, I'm so angry. Like Don Lemon the other night. What? Huh? Is this real life? It is real life. And you're reporting on a meme. Oh, yeah, it appears that President Trump, it appears to be a doctored photo of his head on Sylvester Stallone. Can we confirm that that's been a doctored photo? I guess they're calling it a meme. That's how they are. They're so just tone deaf and divorced from reality. They can't stand the fact that this president's winning. He's funny. He's entertaining. And he controls them. He lives in their brains rent-free, which is why they're covering him 24/7 instead of covering stories like that or covering stories about the shooting. That's going to be buried. Now that we know that it was Black Hebrew Israelites that did the shooting, they're like, what? What shooting? What happened in New Jersey? Just like they forgot about the shooting in Virginia Beach. Just like most of you probably forgot about it. Why'd you forget about it? Because the shooter was Black. And we don't care about victims in this country if the shooter was black and it's inconvenient to our hate white people narrative, right? Or the shooter in Southern California was a school shooting, like I believe it was in November. The school shooter was Asian. Where's David Hogg? Where are all these gun grabbers? Where are the social justice warriors? They were tweeting about it right away because they know, again, all you got to do is set the fire and that inferno will just grow before the truth comes out. That's why they don't issue retractions. They'll just delete it like, oops. They know what they're doing. So they'll put that stuff out there like, oh, looks like another white supremacist shot up a school. Then it comes out he's Asian. They'll just like, delete. And I'm moving on to the next little fake, phony outrage because that's what they're doing. They're spreading anger and low vibration nonsense. That's what's happening. And that's why people like me got to be here to speak the truth. This is why you need people who can see things for what they are. They can see through the little sick game of mind control. That's essentially what it is mind control. It's coming from academia, media, entertainment. Everything you see on TV is coming from Netflix. The propaganda is everywhere. Everywhere. The cover of Time magazine. Oh, let's prop up this 16-year-old girl who said, how dare you on TV and scolded the UN. Talked about how, you're stealing my dreams over this climate change. It's like, again, using and abusing kids. Using and abusing minorities, immigrants, women, people of color. It's always on repeat. And how much more do people need to see, right? I'm saying the truth right now, and I hope that liberal friends from across the country are watching me because I invite you to debate me. If I got any of that wrong, I know I can be a little hyperbolic. That's just my style. It's funny. I like to do that. But I'm still getting a point across. The truth is still right there. The way they use kids. A good example of how they use kids, look at Time magazine last year when they showed Trump on the cover towering over this little immigrant girl looking up crying. Remember that video? Remember that? That picture came out with the girl crying and they're like, child separation, Trump's doing it. Trump separated this little girl from her mom. This is horrible. Come to find out, that little girl was crying because she was probably hungry, cold, tired, confused, dehydrated after her mom trucked her across the desert after paying a coyote thousands of dollars, seeking a better life, but I'm going to pay thousands of dollars. How does that work? How many of you have thousands of dollars right now that you could just pay willy-nilly to seek a better life? And her dad was back home. He's like, yeah, my wife just left me with the kid. I don't know what's going on. Nonetheless, they still chose to run with that fake story and put Trump on the cover because the optics are bad and it would drag him down. But the reason why I don't want anybody to get too freaked out about all of the propaganda coming at us left, right, up, down, sideways is because his approval rating's going up. With everything, the onslaught, the avalanche of fake news, lies, smears, propaganda, propped up stories, impeachment fiasco, all of that coming at Trump, and his approval ratings going up, and he's keeping his poker face. And he just struck a deal with China on trade. Do you know anybody in your life? Can you name one person? Type them in the chat right now. Can you name one person who can go through everything that this president just went through and is still going through? And in spite of all that, he's still holding rallies. He's still holding it down. We're not in any wars. Our economy's on fire. Everything is going great, despite the fact that his family's under attack, his businesses are under attack, his kid is under attack. Do you know anybody that can get through that? Having celebrities calling for the death and rape of your child because they don't like you as president? That's what I'm saying. So we don't have to worry as much as we think we do. We just have to know that we can't kick our feet up and get complacent. Yes, he is already leading in the polls, or it's at least in single digit within the margin of error of all of the candidates. Remember when the Dem candidates started debates and everything? They're like, look at all these candidates that would be beating Trump by double digits head to head. Well, now he's either beating them or trailing by single digits. So what does that tell you? There are more people who support Donald Trump as of Friday, December 13th than there were yesterday, than there were last year, than there were when he got elected. Look at how many more people support Trump. And that's on top of the people who they don't support him, but they're going to vote for him anyway. I know some of those people. I know people who will never buy a MAGA hat, who will never tell anybody that they voted for Trump, but they're going to vote for Trump because they see the left-wing insanity. They see that the Democrat Party has gone insane, so far left, like nothing looks recognizable with the other political party, right? Like, how could they vote for them just because they hate Trump? They're like, dang, I really don't like this man, but I mean, my paycheck's bigger, my taxes are lower, things are stable. Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo and all them said that slavery was coming back and all the racism was going to be on the rise, but my life is, if not worse, it's better. A lot of people are looking around and they're like, yeah, I don't believe you guys anymore. You told me he colluded with Russia. You said the Stormy Daniels thing was real. You said he called Omarosa a dog. You said all these things that either weren't true or you haven't provided evidence yet. So why would I still believe you now? It's like, I'm probably going to vote for Trump because Bernie's a communist. Elizabeth Warren is a grifter and a liar, and she pretended to be Native American. Bloomberg's trying to buy his way there. Andrew Yang wants to give everybody money. He's basically a communist. They're looking at these candidates and they're like, I'm good. I'm just going to vote for Trump and not tell anybody. So you got those people. How many closet Trump supporters are out there? Closet people are going to vote for the president. On top of that, look at the optics. Do we really need to look at polls? Do we need to look at polls? Look at the man's rallies. Look at Trump's rallies. Here's what's funny. Bernie Sanders held a rally. Remember after he had his heart attack back in October or whenever it was? Remember, he came roaring back, right? Oh, Bernie Sanders had a big turnout in Brooklyn. Look at this. Look at this. New York City in the backdrop. And you got thousands of people showing up for a Bernie Sanders rally. Bernie's back. Look at Bernie. He's surging. That's not impressive. You mean to tell me the man from New York, a liberal city, he's a liberal, holding a rally? I would be shocked if he didn't have 1,000 people show up. If there's any city where a Democrat could have a big, massive turnout for a rally, it better be New York City or LA or DC or San Francisco or Chicago or some other left-leaning city. That better be the place. That's not impressive. What is impressive is I bet you Trump could get a bigger crowd than Bernie in his own city. That's impressive. Trump goes around everywhere in the country. He does rallies in California. He needs to honestly go out there more. Trump needs to do a rally in Seattle, in Portland, in San Francisco. That would be impressive. But I guarantee you, Trump could turn out, he could fill an arena. Whatever football, basketball, baseball stadium they have there, Trump could fill it up in any city, conservative or liberal. That's impressive. So when they talk about, oh, this president's unpopular, look at the numbers, look at the numbers. The only numbers that matter are the people that show up to his rallies and the people that show up to vote for him, right? That's what matters. So the truth is really winning, even though it seems like it's losing. There's definitely a battle happening, right? It's a battle. It's going down. And 2020 is going to be 10 times worse. 10 times worse, guys. So that's why I say it's so important that you, if you like what I do, support me, support this channel, because it is a full-time job. It is a full-time job and it wears you down, honestly. You know how tired I am of like watching the same thing over and over. And then I see like there's no shortage of conservatives talking about the same thing. Everyone's talking about impeachment and, you know, they're just pretty much combating whatever the left says, but not really focused on, I don't know, I guess the bigger picture, right? Like, why would I spend any time talking about the impeachment hearings when it's a sham? It's a sham. I can just say what it is and move on from it. I don't need to break down and analyze the hearing and Jerry Nadler said this and Nancy Pelosi's doing that, because none of it matters. It's going to get voted down in the Senate. He's not going to get removed from office. It's not going to happen. I'd rather focus on getting him reelected. I'd rather hit the pavement with the Trump flag, going out to the cities out here in Florida, doing live streams, doing man on the streets, like what you guys saw, going to these protests, talking to liberals, exposing leftists, exposing the bigotry, getting those videos online so that people can see the truth. We can wake up more people. When you can see these videos, you can see like who's insane, who's telling the truth. When I can have conversations, sharpen my own debate skills, but also educate some other people, change some minds. Isn't that what it's about? Changing some minds at the end of the day. Isn't that what we should be doing? I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm not trying to be on a high horse. I'm just saying this is where my focus is. This is what I'll be doing for 2020 because Florida is the biggest battleground state in the nation. Trump has to win Florida. At least I think he does. I mean, no president has made it to the Oval Office without winning Florida. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he turns some random states red. There's probably more states that are up for grabs now than there were in 2016, right? Hillary didn't think she was going to lose Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, or Michigan because that's the blue wall. But Trump went up there, campaigned there. He had a lot of support and he won those states. So that's why I say, man, you go into any of these liberal states like Washington, outside of Seattle, it's red. Oregon, outside of Portland, it's red. The MAGA movement is really strong. And not even just the MAGA movement, people who just want to see America flourish and prosper, people who don't agree with the way that the left is portraying it. Like, oh, the very founding of this country is just racist and wrong, and black people are scared and getting killed by the cops every day. Not this black guy. See, blowing up the narratives is, I think it's really fun. And I would love to travel the country and do this. Go around. That's why I'm going to go get some equipment. That's why I am getting things into place so I can do live streams and more man on the street stuff, which I think you guys really love. I'm planning to do a lot of that in 2020. And that's on top of YouTube trying to digitally duct tape my mouth. They're trying so hard. That's why it's important for you guys to subscribe to the backup channel, because the backup channel I can use for archive, put all my videos over there. I can live stream from my phone on there, but it has to hit 1,000 subscribers first. I'm telling you guys, 2020 is about to be crazy. Once we get past the holidays, we're going to get right into the nonsense. Look for more false flags. Look for more hate crime hoaxes. Look for the left to rush to criticize and politicize everything they can, spreading fake news wildfires. And then we have to come and put it out. Remember, last year, Covington Catholic, they were all over that until people like me and others. My channel was small at the time, but the video I made debunking that Covington Catholic story got like 50,000 views, right? That was huge for people to see the truth and not just the soundbite and the little clips that they use to try to fan the flames of hysteria. That's what they're going to be doing tenfold in 2020 on top of the censorship. So always check the links in the description. Follow me on BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, DLive, Telegram, Patreon. There's so many, man. Minds. I'm not really on Minds yet. I'm not, but I will be. I'm going to sign up for basically every alt tech platform that I can handle and manage right now. And I want to start getting content up on those platforms. Not all of them are robust like YouTube. I can't just press a button from my phone and live stream. Some of them don't even have applications, not for Android anyway. So I'm going to be focused on that, guys. And I thank you so much for supporting me, because it's a full-time job. It really is. And I plan to do this full-time. I am doing it full-time, but you know, YouTube is doing their best to make sure that you guys are not subscribed. You're not getting notifications. You're getting unsubscribed. They won't let you like the video. It's not being promoted. It's being algorithmically demoted. All the while, leftists are cheering for it. And then people like Tim Pool lie and say, oh, they're going to come for the left too. It's going to happen to everybody. How come it's happening to pretty much everybody but Tim Pool? Just saying. He's talking about he's censored. Oh my gosh. They're really hurting me, guys. I'm like, I see his videos pop up every single day. And each of his videos has like hundreds of thousands of views, right? I did some like analytical, like, I don't know, research and just looked at different channels. I'm like, okay, Amazing Lucas has what, 450,000 subscribers, and he averages about 45,000 views per video. So what's that? Roughly 10% of his viewers are seeing it. right? He's getting 10% views based on his subscribers, right? The ratio of that. For Tim Pool, he has about the same amount, if not more. I think he has like 500,000 subscribers, and his videos are averaging like 300, 400,000 views. So how is that possible? And then there's a couple Christian channels that I follow. Some of them have like 2 million subscribers, and their videos have less views than mine. That doesn't make any sense. Just based on the number of people that are subscribed to you, they should almost always see your video pop up in their newsfeed. I'm willing to bet that if I were only subscribed to like 5 channels and I went to my timeline or whatever that is in the suggestions, I would get maybe one of their videos, and the rest would be all mainstream media or a bunch of stuff that's irrelevant, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what's happening on top of everything else that I'm trying to do. But I'm a winner. I have a winner's mentality, and I'll persevere. And God doesn't make mistakes, so it's going to be all right. Right? I got the best subscribers on the planet. You guys have been amazing with donations, with sharing, with liking, the moderators, Joey with the super chat. Appreciate you. You guys are great, but this is not a game. This is not a game. We have to go hard in the paint for 2020. So with that said, God bless you guys. I'm signing out. I got to go meet this lady so I can see about getting some of this equipment. And I will catch you guys in the next stream, hopefully sooner than later. Peace.